Hello and welcome back to College Algebra, MAT 150. In this lecture we will be discussing quadratic equations, quadratic functions, and the zero product property. So what is a quadratic equation? Well, it's an equation in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c that it can be represented in this form where a is not zero. And a quadratic function is a function of the form ax squared plus bx plus c. So basically an equation is something that we just have an equation, but there's no function, there's no y value, but the function has the same sort of stuff, but with the f of x out in front. And again, a not being zero. So the zero product property, so why do we care about these things? Well, this defines this whole section, 3.2. And there are many ways to solve quadratic equations and deal with quadratic functions in later sections. And one of those ways is by using the zero product property. And the zero product property says that if you have two numbers and they multiply to be zero, this is true if and only if at least one of them is zero. So, or because, why is this true? Because if you multiply and you get zero out, well, you had to have zero for this one or zero for this one, or they both could have been zero. So what does this mean? If you have two things that are being multiplied, so two factors, as it were, x and x plus 1 are factors in this example below, then if they multiply to be zero, then one of them must be zero. So we say either x equals 0 or x plus 1 equals 0, or possibly both, but since we're talking about the same variable, that's not usually the case. So we have x equals 0, well, that is a solution. And for x plus 1, we have to solve, and we get x equal to negative 1. So this means if you plug in 0, so 0 times 0 plus 1, well, that's 0. If you plug in negative 1, well, negative 1 plus 1 is 0, and then negative 1 times 0 is also 0. So both of these work as solutions to this equation. So what does this mean? This means since this is factored, since these are factors, and we want to look at factors to use the zero product property, one of the best ways to solve quadratic equations is to use the zero product property, and to do that you have to factor, which we will talk about in the next lecture.